Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to What's Up, Doc. Today we are going to talk about whey protein. I have with me two very special people, other than myself. I am Dr. Alexandra Weil, and I am a board-certified emergency medicine physician. With me is Miles Jenkin. He is also a board-certified emergency medicine physician. And with us today is our special guest, Kyle Jaworski, who is the head of a multiple department of personal trainers at a very big gym that we cannot say the name of. But today, we are going to discuss whey protein, which is just everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone takes it. Everyone's using it because, right.
Oh, sorry.
Can't let out the answer before we even get there. All right, so whey protein. Whey protein is made by a moo-moo, a cow that is walking around. Somebody milks the cow. Somebody takes that milk. They put that milk into a vat with enzymes, and then that gets separated out. And then there's this curd, and then there's this whey, and then the curd stuff is all cheesy stuff, which we're not talking about that.
No, not today.
No,
not today.
And then the whey itself is like the liquid, and what happens is it gets dried out, and that is made into a protein. There's different types of protein now.
Many different types of protein. Whey is the most common, I think, for athletes, lifters. It's what you hear about, you talk about the most. But like you said and demonstrated, it's from the kind of creamy milk part of milk and cream, and they turn it into powders and liquids and sell it to athletes.
Now, there's two major types of whey protein out there. One is called protein concentrate, and it can have anywhere between 30% and 90% protein, but it also has in it fats and also has in it lactose, and so this is not the type of thing you want to do if you get grumbly belly from using milk products. Now, the other one is whey protein isolate, and that is 90% pure protein, and it has no lactose in it, and it is much better tolerated. But you should always check and make sure with your physician before using a product so that you don't get grumbly belly. So, Kyle, what is the number one thing your athletes ask you in regards to supplements?
I want to take some type of protein powder of whey, mostly. What is the best one out there? Which one should I take? Which one is good? Which one's worth the money? Which one has stuff I shouldn't be taking? Which ones have reviews? Which ones do not?
So it's out there. People want to know, like,
100%.
hey, now there might be, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of brands out there.
Each athlete that comes to me generally has a different one that they've looked at or that they want. I don't really see, with new athletes especially, a kind of consistent one that comes through. It's always something different or new or from this marketing channel or whatever it is.
So some of the things I noticed is that when you look at a protein, not only does it have the protein in it, but it's got a bunch of other stuff, right? And then it has a suggested use. But what are we supposed to, how much of this are we supposed to really be taking? I mean, I know it's a supplement and it's good for building muscle and there's a lot of good research in it, but how much are we really supposed to be taking?
I think it depends on what your desired goal is and what kind of sports or activities you participate in. As a triathlete, not a very good one, but someone who does finish triathlons and consider myself an endurance athlete, protein is important, and I think as an endurance athlete we forget about that. We are typically so focused on our nutrition during the race. You're taking your goos and your gels and your liquid nutrition, and then after your race or your activity you kind of forget about recovery, whereas I think that's less of a problem for lifters and Olympic lifting athletes. But from an endurance standpoint, you typically want to do about 0.4 grams per kilogram after each activity. And I think for weightlifters or Olympic lifters, it's much more than that, 1.5 to 2 grams per day.
Per kilogram.
Per kilogram, sorry.
Yeah,
per day.
yeah,
Okay.
per kilogram. So would you say that athletes already know how much they're supposed to take, or you think they're just following the directions?
I think you have two kind of groups of people out there. I think you have the group that will read the back of it and they will scoop it in exactly as it says and kind of do what they're supposed to. And then I think you have the group that sees, these massive, gains that other people have had, and they just, as much as they can afford, and as much as they can physically tolerate, they just kind of pump in. That's both I see. So I don't think anyone truly knows, is that specific to me or is that just a general use?
So I don't think we really need to review the studies because it is so, overwhelmingly positive in terms of that additive protein into any kind of strength training or endurance training improves athletic performance. The studies are continuous and endless, right? So how should we recommend things to athletes? What should we be saying to them, I guess is the question.
I think one of the biggest things you can do is, always, you guys always bring up, is do your own research, right? Go to a secondary source, somebody who reviews products. Don't go straight to the source. I think the next thing you can do is look to see how many ingredients are in there. If it's a pure isolate, like we're talking about, there shouldn't be a plethora of ingredients. There should be a short, kind of finite list. I think those are my two top suggestions.
Yeah, I think those are great suggestions. I think from an endurance athlete perspective, I also try to make sure there's not a lot of byproducts in there or preservatives or things that just aren't necessary in there. If you can find something like that, and then like you mentioned, from a medical perspective, if you're lactose intolerant or you have a sensitive GI system, really read the ingredients and make sure that you're getting, if you're lactose intolerant, an isolate where there's no lactose in it. And if you're even a vegan, we didn't talk about in this video, but there's other products that are not animal-based that you can look into for protein.
And we'll be talking about that in some later episodes of What's Up Doc. We'll look at alternative protein sources other than whey protein. But what's interesting about whey protein? It is considered a complete protein. You ever hear that before? I've heard it, I can't tell you, dozens and dozens of times.
Sure.
What does it mean?
Right.
It means that it contains all 9 essential amino acids. And that list reads to me like the names from Game of Thrones.
Sure.
Leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, 3-ione, something, valine. This is
Threonine is my favorite one. Yeah, it's perfect. It's the perfect one.
But
Yeah.
it does. Well, I think it's pretty easy for us to rate whey protein. We also did something in an earlier shoot where we did a taste test. We're going to show a quick montage
Right here.
of what went on in that.
It was hilarious. We had masks on. You got to watch. Stay tuned for that.
But I think the answer, and the reason we even did that, was to say, there's so many products out there. First and foremost, you read the label. You decide which one is, most pure. Then you do a taste test and decide which is the one you can tolerate, which one, dissolves best in milk or water, which one tastes best for you, one that you'll use.
For sure.
All right, I think we're ready to rate this product.
Here we are. Let's do it.
Dun, dun, dun. Joke!
I was like, that's strange.
3 thumbs up.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks guys so much for watching.
Thanks, guys. Like, subscribe.
Subscribe,
Down here.
like
Somewhere.
us, ask
Maybe. In
questions.
there somewhere.
Thanks so
Bye,
much. Till
guys.
next time.